You won't win in your personal finances because you believe in at least one of these 10 common lies about money. I've been an accountant for the last decade, paid down $43,000 of my own debt in just 13 months, and now have $1 million net worth. So I've lived through all the ups and downs, and I want to help show you where the pitfalls are. So with that said, let's jump into the first lie you tell yourself about money, and that is, I'll start saving later when I earn more. This is wrong on so many levels. First, the truth is saving is a habit, not a milestone. Earning more before building up the habit will likely cause you to just keep spending it as you earn it. If you don't believe me, check this out. Almost half of earners making $100,000 or more say they live paycheck to paycheck, and 36% of 200K plus earners also live paycheck to paycheck. It's not about the income, it's about what you do with it. I've coached plenty of people that make about $50,000 a year, they have no debt, and they're putting money towards their financial goal every single month. I've also coached people that would be considered a higher earner, and they have, over $100,000 of debt, and that's not even including their mortgage. Another reason saying that you're gonna start saving later when you earn more first is just kind of silly, it just makes no sense, is because you would never say, oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym once I become in better shape. Oh, I'm gonna be really good at basketball as soon as I become 6'8". You can't get the end result before taking the action that's required first. So if you're someone with this belief, I challenge you to find $100 in your finances to start applying towards your financial goals. I promise you it's in there. Which leads me into the second lie you tell yourself about money, which is, I don't have time to track my finances. This one is jokes, okay? Last I checked, everyone has the same amount of time in the day, right? 24 hours. So if you don't like where you stand with your finances, it means you're just not spending enough time with it. You're not being as intentional as you probably could be, because there's other people using the same amount of time that they have in their day, and they're winning in their personal finances. So it is possible. When my wife and I were paying off our $43,000 of debt in that 13-month time span, we literally had a 5 to 10 minute meeting on our couch in our living room to go over that, rinky-dinky spreadsheet that we were using, making sure that we were both aligned, right? Because we had shared debt, shared bank accounts, we had all this stuff all over the place. We needed to make sure that we were aligned in our decisions. Was it annoying? Yeah. Was it solely my decision to do that? Yeah. Did my wife roll her eyes at me every single time we had to have that meeting? Yeah, but just that small intentional decision to put more focus on a financial goal that we tried to reach made a huge impact. But now with technology and all the budgeting apps that are out there, all of this is it's so simple to keep track of, and you're on the go and you could just do it really quickly. There's no excuses. If you have this belief of not having enough time in your day, I challenge you to do a time audit of your day, your week, whatever you want to do. And I wouldn't make it too intense to start, maybe 30-minute intervals. And basically this is just to find out what the heck you do during the day. This will help with two things. First, this is going to show you what you actually do during the course of a day. I see you, Netflix. But the second thing is, once you start doing this, you're not gonna wanna look lazy to yourself. So you're gonna actually be a little more proactive. Like if you watch Netflix from 7 to 10 p.m., guess what you're not doing the night that you're tracking your time? You won't be watching Netflix from 7 to 10 p.m. So how can we fill that time with something that's a little more productive? Maybe, I don't know, tracking our finances? Moving on to number 3, which is budgets are too restrictive. I'm gonna keep shouting this one from the rooftops and maybe someone will hear me. I think that this is actually such a misconception when it comes to finances and budgeting, and I think it's the sole reason why the majority of you don't do it. Everyone wants the feeling of being free, right? No one wants to be restrictive. No one wants to think about what a smaller lifestyle would look like or cutting back expenses would look like. But the truth is, a budget doesn't tell you what you can't do. It actually tells you the opposite. It tells you what you can do with your money. Budgeting equals intentionality. Budgeting shows you where you're spending your money, and you can quickly see if where your money's going is aligned to a financial goal or a life goal. Similar to the I have no time argument, it's one of those things where if you're not tracking it, you don't care about it, no matter what you say. So let your financial goals and your life goals guide your money decisions. This also means, by the way, that you can add money to a certain expense category that you feel like you're not spending enough in. So the example I like to give is, let's say you have a gym membership and it costs you $25, and you look at where your spending's going, you're making like $5K a month, right? And you're looking like, wow, I'm only spending $25 a month on my health and fitness. Like I need to double this, triple this somehow. Like it's such an important thing for me. Okay, so that's just a reframe that I want you to think, because again, budgeting is not restrictive. It's just a way to flow your money to the things that are most important to you. And at the end of the day, you're a product of where your money goes. If there's two people right? And they each have their own budgets. They each have $500 left at the end of the month to put towards something. One of them puts it towards Uber Eats. One of them puts it towards a financial goal like paying down debt faster. Who do you think is going to be more financially successful? Which transitions nicely to the fourth lie about money. I can't save money with my current expenses. The first question that I'd ask someone who says this is, what have you tried? Because I talk to a lot of people about their personal finances every day, and what I'm finding is that people tend to come up with excuses as to why they can't do the thing, but when I ask them this question, they haven't tried anything yet. And that's okay. Like, if you're new to this, you're maybe not gonna know what to do. So here's what I recommend. It's called the 3-month look back process. If you wanna deep dive on it, the tutorial's in my budget template down in the description of this video. But basically how it works is you want to go back 3 months for all your variable expenses. So think groceries, gas, utilities, etc. Things that come every single month that you need to pay, but they fluctuate every single month, right? So it's not like your rent or mortgage, which are likely fixed every month. It's stuff that you buy, but it changes every month. So pull out all your bank statements, your credit card statements, however you spend money, right? Write it all down, lump them into big expense categories. That way we can get the average of those last 3 months. And once we know how much we've spent in each of those expense categories, you're going to look at them, you're going to look at the average, and you're going to ask yourself, is me spending money in this expense category, in this expense category, is it aligned with a financial goal or a life goal? The answer is likely no, okay? Especially if you've never done this before, but that's okay, right? You're new, we're learning a new skill, we're trying to figure this out, so don't get discouraged, right? But we're gonna take a look and see how we can adjust it, right? Because you're in control. These are your personal finances, okay? So you're the only one that can fix what's going on, which is fine. This is great. That's what we want. We want to be in control. And once you tell yourself what your goals are, like what is your most important thing, you know, again, a financial goal, a life goal, these goals become your North Star, and it helps guide your money decisions. It makes it way easier. And if any of this interests you at all, I've actually got a free course helping you find your own money in your finances, right? So you can pay down your debt 2 times faster. If you're interested, here's the link on screen, skool.com/debt, and you can get a free strategy call with me if you sign up today. Bringing us to number 5, if it's on sale, I'm saving money. Shout out to my mother-in-law. She is the queen of this mindset. If you're watching this, I still love you. But businesses in general have always and will continue to mess with consumer psychology. We all like a deal, right? Everyone likes a deal. Everyone likes seeing those tags, the deals, the BOGOs. But if it's on sale, that means you still paid money for it. And if we're being honest with ourselves, right? Let's get in tight. If we're being honest, were you actually gonna buy that thing if it was full price? If the answer is no, then maybe you shouldn't have bought it at half price because maybe you didn't actually need the thing. But again, now that we have that North Star goal, right? And we know how to align our money. Again, if we go to a store and we see a thing, it's a BOGO, but is it aligned with a goal? We have to ask ourselves. We have to be a little more diligent because if we say this goal is as important as we say it is, we have to start keeping the promises that we're making to ourselves. We don't need a pair of shoes. We need to pay down our debt 2 times faster, right? So that 50% off ugly chair that my mother-in-law bought that literally no one ever sits in, they saw her coming a mile away. Which takes us to number 6. I have plenty of time to save for retirement. Not to be morbid, right? But tomorrow's not guaranteed. And the best time that you should have started thinking about your retirement was 20 years ago. But the next best time is actually today. And the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. Let's look at this example. Assuming retirement age of 65 and estimated return of 8% to be on the conservative side. So we have 3 people, someone starting at the age of 25, someone starting at the age of 35, and someone starting at the age of 45. To make this happen, the 25-year-old would only need to contribute $287 a month for 40 years. The 35-year-old would need to contribute $671 a month to get to a $1 million retirement account, and the 45-year-old needs to put away $1,700 a month for 20 years. So those of you doing the math at home, the 40-year-old needs to have 6 times the amount of money that the 25-year-old does. The lesson here, not only does money compound, but so does time. So you didn't start 20 years ago, but why not start today? Speaking of lessons, the number 7 lie about money you tell yourself is, I don't make enough money to budget. Someone literally told me this one time and I started to chuckle only to realize that they were actually serious. Budgeting is for any person in any country, using any currency, with any income, any religion, any gender, all this other stuff. Anyone. It's literally for anyone. I've said it already in this video, but I have to say it again. If you take away one thing from this video, is that budgeting is about being intentional with how we're spending our money. How aligned is our spending to our goals, right? They should equal each other. Spending equals goals. Please. And the reason why you're probably living paycheck to paycheck or have a ton of debt you don't know what to do with is because your spending aligns with absolutely nothing. There's no priorities. And like I said earlier, I've worked with lower income people that are absolutely crushing it with their finances, and higher income people that just, they're not. The lower income earners are budgeting because they feel like they have to stay on top of everything. They just have less to work with. Whereas the higher earners just think that their higher salary will cover up their financial negligence, we'll call it. But the truth is, it's just not about the income, it's about the habit. So until you build the habit, nothing's going to change. Which leads us to number 8, which is everyone has debt, so it's no big deal. And this is true. Basically, everyone has debt these days. The average personal debt in the US is $22,713, which doesn't even include mortgages. And 60% of the largest holding debt individuals, so millennials and Gen X, don't even have a specific plan to pay it off. And honestly, it's because too many people are just comfortable being in debt. It's like my wife and I 5+ years ago, when we drew a line in the sand, we're like, what are we doing? Why are we being so lazy with this debt? Like, we have to get rid of it. We are negatively impacting our worth. Not that I really care about net worth, but it's like, I'd rather be giving ourselves that money instead of handing it to other people. Like, we need the power of our own compounding interest, not negative compounding against us. That's what interest is. It's a compounding vehicle. So when it's in your favor, it's amazing. And when it's against you, it's just like you're fighting an uphill battle. And quite honestly, this goal was not easy to do, right? But we made some sacrifices. We were way more intentional with how we were spending our money. It was never about paying off the debt, which it was, but it was paying off the debt so that we can go to a more valuable financial goal, right? We applied the money that we were putting towards our debt, everything that we were paying, we rolled into another financial goal, which was retirement. Now we have 2 kids, so we're planning for their future education. Debt is the ultimate wealth killer for you, and it's the ultimate wealth generator for those that are receiving your interest payments every single month. The number 9 lie you tell yourself about money is a few small splurges won't hurt my goals. I hate the debate that's happening online about how daily Starbucks is making you poor. Now, sure, a $5 cup of coffee every day, that's not ideal, but it's just more about the process around your spending, right? It always comes back to this. So if you look at your goals, is Starbucks coffee your North Star? Probably not. Is the convenience of, going through the drive-thru and picking up your coffee that day part of your North Star? Probably not. Is being behind in the morning so you couldn't make it at home and you had to stop at Starbucks part of your North Star goal? Probably not. Create specific processes in your life that make it way easier for you to succeed with your financial goals. For example, I'm still doing the 9 to 5 thing, and I bring my lunch every single day, not because I need to necessarily financially, but it keeps me accountable and it keeps me on track of I bring the thing that I think I need to eat because health goals are really important to me. It's one of my life goals, right? I've got 2 kids and a wife. I want to stick around for them. If I went to work every day and I didn't bring my lunch, I would be ordering at my most hungry time, right? I would be ordering something that's not on my meal plan. I don't really have a meal plan, but you know what I mean. And I would regret it later. Am I excited to eat a boring salad every day? No, it's freaking miserable, okay? But I'm not thinking about today. I'm thinking about tomorrow, 10 years from now. A Philly cheesesteak sounds amazing today, but what is it gonna do to me in 10 years if I keep eating Philly cheesesteaks? Which brings me to number 10. I don't need a plan. I'm doing fine without one. This one, you have to be really, really honest with yourself. You have to take a deep, hard look in the mirror, because if you haven't reached your financial goals yet, maybe you're not doing as fine as you think you are. Again, this could be things like you have a ton of debt and you don't know what to do with it. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Those are not examples of fine. I was talking to this one guy about his personal finance situations, and we were going back and forth, and he's like, no, I've met all my financial goals. And here I was reaching out to him to see if I could help him in any sort of way. But then I was thinking, wow, maybe this guy should be helping me. If he's reached all of his financial goals. But then this guy kept going and he's like, oh, I actually, I've got $50,000 of debt. I don't really have much saved for retirement. And I'm sitting there thinking oh my God, you're full of it. You're lying to me, and you're lying to yourself, which is even worse. A financial goal is not to stay in tens of thousands of dollars of debt, right? It's to get out of it as soon as possible. But he was living his truth that he was fine. So again, it's just about how you frame your situation. So if you like this, you're gonna love the next video, which is showing you how to find more money in your finances right now, today, to pay down your debt twice as fast. I'll see you in there.